Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Gemini. That's Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising for the month of October 2023. And exciting. I have some visual aids this month. So let's get it right into it. We're going to look at the astrology first. And then we'll do the card reading. Is that what I want? Yep. We'll do the card reading, and let's just find Gemini. I've been spending the day doing the air signs today. There we go. Gemini. So Gemini is a Mercury ruled sign. And of course, Mercury was retrograde for quite a while in the sign of Virgo. And it was in Virgo for a long time, right? Virgo for you is your fourth house. Fourth house is and it's still in Virgo, but now it's moving forward. So we have forward motion on things, and it's really only in that. It's only going to be in that fourth house for you until the fourth, when it moves into your fifth house as it moves into Libra. And Mercury in the fifth house is a little more energy for fun, honestly. But with Mercury sitting in that fourth house for so long, it was really an opportunity for you to dig really deep into your emotional roots, as it were. The fourth house is family. It's what roots you to the earth. And really, Gemini, what roots you to the earth is on some level to be of service to others and to be service to humanity. But you also have to be of service to yourself and your own emotional needs. And so you've had that opportunity, and now you're sort of moving forward from that place. Mercury will be moving into the fifth house while it's in Libra. And it's in Libra until the 22nd, when it moves into Scorpio. Then it's moving into your sixth house, which is a Mercury ruled house, right? It's the Virgo house. And so at that time, we're getting back into that energy of the water energy via the sign that it's in, becomes more focused, and like a laser beam, what do you need to do for your service work, or what do you need to do for your own health? The sun, of course, starts the month in Libra. That's your fifth house. So there's a little there's some fun in the sun, I guess. But definitely creative self-expression. You're finding yourself wanting to express yourself more and more. However, there is an eclipse happening in that house. That's happening on the 14th. It's a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. Will be happening in your fifth house for Gemini. Things from the past are coming up. Justice. Now, if you're on the right side of things, that's not in it. Like if you're on the right side of things, then things start to manifest by being on the right side of things. If you happen to be on the wrong side of things, this is going to be a very powerful and difficult month. And I'm thinking of two Geminis in my mind's eye right now, two prominent Geminis, actually three prominent Geminis I can think of off the top of my head. One of them is Xi Jinping. Four, Xi Jinping, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and Russell Brand are all Geminis, right? So we can see there's big things happening, and they're being held accountable on some level. And we'll see how that manifests itself through the month. Now, you may not be, you're none of those people. And you're probably not involved in those kinds of things as those, the people in the greater world are, but you could be. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not, but if you've been true and balanced and fair, then I don't think you have anything to worry about, quite frankly. All right, what else? The sun in the fifth house, and then it moves into Scorpio on the 23rd. And this is and of course the energy of Scorpio is very different than the energy of Libra. It's much more emotional. This is a time to really focus on how your emotions affect your health. You're going to have Mercury in that house. You're going to have Mars in that house. Here it is right here. And you're going to have the sun. The sun illuminates, right? The sun moves in on the 23rd of October. So things, first thing in actually is Mars. So it might start up as an irritation, might have some inflammation. Scorpio is the lower bowel and the generative organs. So there could be some sort of inflammation in that area of your body. Just be aware of that. We have Mercury move in, and then we have the sun move in. Mercury moves in on the 22nd, the sun moves in on the 23rd. So it'll give voice to whatever inflammation is happening, and that could be an actual inflammation of body, or it could just be an inflammation of something, right? It doesn't have to necessarily manifest itself in the physical way. It could manifest itself emotionally. Mercury comes in, gives it voice, and the sun comes in and illuminates it. So when the sun moves through Scorpio this month, from the 23rd to the end of the month and then into next month, you'll get to see what it is. Like, what is it that's irritating you? What is it that's bringing a certain amount of disharmony into your life? You'll be able to see it. Venus, the planet of love, spent a lot of time in Leo, retrograde, right? 40 days. Now it's moving out, is in Leo until the, the 8th, when she moves into Virgo. Moving into Virgo will move her into your 4th house. Venus in Virgo rolls up her sleeves and do what needs to be done. Now, she does have an issue with self-worth and self-esteem. She can be a little bit of a workaholic. She can base her sense of self-worth on how much work she gets done. You do have to make sure you don't overwork yourself, because your health can be of issue this month. It's very important that you pace yourself. It's easy enough to get overwhelmed by everything that's going on. So you need to just take one thing at a time and just attend to it, get to the next thing, attend to it. Small incremental steps, adjustments that need to be made, especially in your relationships with your family. So that's going to be, up there in the things that you have to do. If you notice, a lot of the energy this month is down in this right lower quadrant, as we might say in medicine, I guess, or I guess if you're basing, it would be in the left. But anyway, it's this area of the chart. This area of the chart is how we relate to the people in our lives it's a very personal place. It's our family, it's our children, it's our co-workers. So there's a lot of energy in that part of the chart. And in that respect, those are the kinds of issues you're going to have to deal with. Now, the social planets, Jupiter and Saturn, the planets that deal with how we move through society, how we work within society, are both retrograde. So society is going through a period of looking at itself and saying, what's going on here and what do we need to do? I think really people are fed up with looking outside of what other people who don't have their best interest at heart are doing, and really sort of coming to like kitchen table issues, or looking around and saying, this isn't working. What can we do to change it? And putting the focus on that. We are the change. We are the people we've been waiting for, right? We are the change. And so you can't expect the change to come from the outside. It has to come from the inside. And I think we're all learning that. You don't have to be a Gemini to know that. But Jupiter is retrograde in your 12th house, in Taurus. Jupiter likes being in the 12th house. It's one of the best. It's one of the nicest places. It's one of the best planets to move through the 12th house, because anything that moves to the 12th house has its challenges. But Jupiter seems to ease things. Jupiter is about freeing us up. And to a certain extent, it's freeing us up from the things that we do to undo ourselves. It also brings the angels and our guides a little bit closer to us, and we can hear them better. And retrograde is always introspective. So you might be hearing a lot of information coming in through your guides and your angels and the like, and people from the other side. You can feel a tad mediumistic at this time with Jupiter there. And Jupiter's there for a year, so that's not going to go anywhere. And then, of course, Uranus is there for 7 years. And so, but Uranus acts a little differently. Jupiter sort of opens things up in a way. Uranus, like shock and awe, shock and awe, shock and awe. Sometimes it takes a little while to like see what was that about, right? But it does also illuminate. So there's a lot of illumination coming through, we'll say esoteric, occult channels for you. Saturn, the planet of structure, the planet of responsibility, is in Pisces, in that in your 10th house. Your work is changing. Things that no longer serve you are moving away. And Saturn in that house is about taking responsibility. So if you're taking responsibility for yourself, that's great. If you're not taking responsibility for yourself, somebody else will do it. Somebody in authority. So you have to look at this seriously. The transpersonal planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, the outer planets, as it were, the engines of evolution, they all start the month retrograde. Uranus stays retrograde, moves from 15 degrees to 11 degrees of Taurus. Neptune is at 26 degrees of Pisces all month. Neptune usually doesn't go more than a degree a month, sometimes less than that. It only moves maybe like 3 degrees a year, maybe, back and forth over those degrees. So it's sort of sitting in that place. And it's at the 26th degree. And of course, Neptune is square. Actually, I don't even see Neptune. I even put Neptune in here. Oh, I forgot Neptune. Isn't that funny? Neptune is about like disappearing, and it should be right here, but it has disappeared. It didn't make it in, but it's there. It's there. Neptune in the 10th house can really sort of make you, it's mass consciousness. And so people are paying attention to you. For good or for ill, they're paying attention, right? Okay. And that's, like I said, that's pretty much just like hanging around that degree, moving very, very slowly backwards. And then Pluto is also moving very slowly. It stays at 28 degrees of Capricorn the whole month. And one of the reasons for that is because it turns direct this month. It actually turns direct on 1010, the 1010 portal. That will be an interesting reading. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. My 1010 portal reading. But it's occurring at the 28th degree of Capricorn. Incidentally, that is the degree of the United States Pluto, if you're keeping track of those things. And it's in your house of other people's money. It's in your house. It's in your house of your shared resources. It's in your house of debt. You are indebted maybe to some people, and that will come out. And I'm thinking more of the people who are in trouble than you. But there is a certain amount of need to transform your relationships and who you attach yourself to and whose karma you take. Okay. All right, so that's what's going on in the sky. Did I talk about the eclipses? I don't know. I'll talk about them. I think I talked about one of them. We have 2 eclipses, eclipse season. And you know, eclipse season is always like huge evolutionary jumps and leaps, right? We have a new moon in your 5th house of creative self-expression. That's a solar eclipse. It's at the south node. We also have Mercury and Mars right near that south node at that time. So it's very, very, very powerful. A lot of energy at that south node. The south node is the node that we release from. So it's the beginning of a releasing process of release. And Pluto is still square the nodes, and so Pluto is square this eclipse. And again, it's pointing in the direction of Libra, because that's the resolution. The south node at this point is the resolution node for that Pluto energy. Pluto in Capricorn can be abusive power. If you've had any abusive power, you're going to be held to it. If you've been abused by powerful people, it's going to come out, and you could be exonerated, or you can be seen and people can understand. And on the other side of that eclipse, on the north node, while the sun and the moon are on that south node, where the energy, you know, where the right, but on the north node, we have the planet Eris, which is the goddess of discord in Aries, conjunct the north node, and that's happening in the 11th house. So you're gonna, whatever happens, and I'm thinking about the people who are sort of more famous, there's going to be a lot of buzz. There's going to be a lot of people saying things. There's going to be a lot of anger. There's going to be a lot of that coming out, and especially 11th house, it's going to come out on the internet, and those sort of networks of communication. So we can expect a lot of upheaval and woof, woof, woof from that. Personally, as a Virgo for you, I mean, as a Gemini for you, there's going to be maybe some talking from the friends, from your friends. Not that they're going to talk against you. They may actually talk for you. They might stand up for you. They'll be like, nope, this person needs to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So it's not negative necessarily. It really kind of depends on how you've spent your time. Are you spending it on the light side of things, on the right side of things, on your better nature, or have you gone into your darker nature? If you're in your dark nature, you're going to pay. If you're in your light nature, you're going to be rewarded. I really do believe that at this time. I really mean it. That's what Joe Biden always says. Yeah, I really mean it. Like, yeah, we know you mean it, Joe. Sorry, I'd bring him in. Oh, he doesn't have Gemini. Nope. Not a Gemini rising. He's not a Gemini. And his moon's not a Gemini. So this isn't his reading. But we do know a few Geminis that are getting slammed right now. And this is the time. This is the time for fate to step in, really. All right. Did I talk about everything? Pluto. Did I talk about everything? No. I talked about Uranus. Yes, I think I did. Pluto changing directions. I talked all about that. Okay, I think I talked about everything. I'm going to go now. If I didn't, I apologize. So that I have the chart so I can keep track, but sometimes I go off, and it's hard to keep track. But hopefully I said everything that needed to be said. All right, so I'm going to use the Light Seers deck for Gemini today. You're having a hard enough time. And I would like to have a nice light deck. Although, sometimes it doesn't give you light answers, so no guarantee. Let's just say it's not a talk deck. You don't have to be shaking in your boots. Okay. My cat is sitting in the sun in my windowsill here. I told him, I said, go sit in the sun, and you went in the windowsill. He was a bad boy last night. He stayed out late. And I went to get him, and I'm calling him, and I'm like, Michael, we can't go to bed. He's a black cat. I mean, he's old. We can't leave him outside. He came from across the street. I live on Main Street. Luckily, it was like, I don't know, midnight, so there were no cars on the road. But he got a ration from me, let me tell you. So I'm only letting him out when I'm around now, because he's not allowed to go across the street. It's too dangerous. For all of you who have to listen to my videos when there are people passing in front of the house, you'll understand how busy or my morning videos, and everybody's screwing down the road because they're late for work. All right, I'm not feeling this yet. Sorry this has taken so long. I do like to wait until it feels right. Okay. Maybe 2 more of those. That's a little better. Mixing it up. I want to make sure you get the right reading. I will try to keep the nefarious Geminis out of the reading, but they tend to pop in every now and again, so I'll apologize up front. One of the things about Gemini is it's teaching us, it really teaches us about duality and in a way the extremes. So it's an extreme time. We're living in extreme times. We start with the Strength card. So I kind of made it sound like, oh my God, it's going to be such a month, right? But you have the strength. You have the strength. The Strength card is about overcoming your baser instincts. It's about, having the ferocity of the lion and yet the gentleness that the lion and the lamb can be together. It's interesting because the lion is Leo and the lamb is Aries, right? Okay, let's see what crosses that. The Queen of Wands. As a crossing card, this could be a bossy gal. So either there's somebody trying to boss you around or you're being a little bossy. So but not, I don't, it's stimulation of maybe somebody's even convincing you, hey, let's have some fun. And there's a lot of fifth house stuff going on. We'll see what else comes up. All right, we have the Empress at the root of things. Creative imagination, manifestation, the power of the feminine, right at the root. You're in a very powerful position right now. Very powerful manifester. In the past, we have the Queen of Pentacles. You've really worked on understanding what's most important. You've worked diligently to have some financial stability in your life. And you're sitting pretty, really. That's the past. In the sky, we have the Three of Cups. This is your friends. This card is really about friendship. We have these 3 women looking up at the Pleiades, the 7 weeping sisters, right? So you have friends who are willing to support you. In the immediate future, the King of Cups. This can be an older, wiser, or wise man, maybe not wiser, but wise man. Somebody who in this deck especially, this is a man who's willing to look at the feelings, look at what's in the cup. Sometimes the King of Wands in the other decks is somebody who's not willing to look at their emotional stuff. But in this deck, that's not true. There is this focus on the dominion of your feelings, focusing on your feelings, focusing on how those feelings are connected to the bigger whole, to the ocean of humanity. This card is associated with Uranus, so that Uranus and Taurus in your 12th house. This is paying attention to all those guides, angels, dead relatives, all the messages. You need to focus in on that. That's where the focus needs to be this month. How others see you, holding on to your resources, Nothing wrong with that, unless that's getting in the way. Your domestic situation, the 7 of Swords. So this is being called out for those who are being not above board. So if you're not above board, you're dealing with it. But this is also the ability to see those who are not above board, to speak out against what's unfair, to say, hey, they're running away with the family silverware, right? Speaking up for that. It's a Venus card, actually. It's a Venus card. Speaking up for your values. Hopes and fears. Oh, love. Ace of Cups, happiness. I don't know. Do you fear that? I don't know anybody who fears happiness. That's usually an easy one to hope for. Outcome, lots of anxiety, lots of anxiety. You really need to watch that. This is a Gemini card. I'm thinking of the famous people now, or the infamous people. Not a good time for them, and cannot be a good time for you if you allow yourself to get caught up in all of the words, everything around you. This is really, I think, a better time served being introspective, honestly. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. Chariot, things are going to move forward though. So even if by the end of this month you're like in an anxious state, just know that that's, you're going to move on from that. You're going to get on the car and you're going to move. You're going to get on the chariot and you're going to move. Things are moving. And this is basically these cards talk about that if you are in alignment with your power and your poise and your imagination, imagining and manifesting what it is, the Empress at the root of this reading, manifesting what it is. What life do you want to create? It's coming for you. The cab is about ready to come, and you will be anxiously waiting for the Uber or the Lyft to come and pick you up and take you, or for the car to be brought to your house so you can get on your path, on your life path. Underneath it all, we have rebirth. That's the death card, the devil, and Two of Cups. Two of Cups. I almost feel like this is the death of a way of being or an addiction, and then coming to a place of balance, emotional balance, and partnership. So as I said, if you have things to hide, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. Otherwise, you're in a strong position. So it really does depend on how you've been spending your time. South Node in Libra, right? Okay, let's pull a animal oracle card. I'm just going to shuffle this up a bit, and then I'm going to pick one. This is from the animal spirit oracle spell. Hold on, I'll tell you the name. Spirit Animal Oracle. The Spirit Animal Oracle by Collette Baron-Reid. Oh, dear me. Oh, I just shuffled the Four of Pentacles in there. No, can't do that. Okay, what do we have? Canary Spirit. Oh. Da-da-da-da-da, canary in a coal mine. Anyway, Canary Spirit, look at that. Sing your song. Sing your own song. Sing a song. Sing out loud. Sing out strong. Don't worry if you're not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. La, la, da, 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 da. Remember that? Da, 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 da. I know some of you are listening to this and going, what is she singing? All right, sing your own song. I'll leave this up. My grandmother used to have canaries. This was before I was born and knew anything about it back in the day. But they would often pass away because back then they had was it coal stoves, and the gases would kill the canary. Canary in a coal mine. Okay. Canary spirit arrives to help you find your authentic voice and express what is in your heart. Free yourself to experience your inner light and let it shine as Canary Spirit sings to remind you of the inherent joy and to support you as you sing your own song. Now is the time to let the world know who you really are. Well, isn't that true? Like I said, if you're on the right side and the light side of things, people are going to see it. If you're on the wrong side of things, or if you're in your lower nature or whatever it is, that comes out as well. And we can certainly see that happening in the world. Canary Spirit's message is that you are free to be yourself and express your most cherished desires. The world wants to hear your song. If you are inquiring about a relationship, you're being called to fully be yourself, for only then will you find harmony and joy. You can make music and with others so beautifully when your note rings true, being your true self. And these cards indicate that you are being your true self. So let everything else fall where it may, because it's exactly what is supposed to be happening at this time. Okay. All right. Have yourself a great month, Gemini. For those evil dudes and less less aligned Geminis. I don't know. I was going to say something about wearing orange, but I'll just keep that to myself. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful month. If you like these videos and you'd like to see more of them, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to support me in a more proactive way, you can become a patron on my Patreon page for as little as $5 a month. What do you get on Patreon? You get these videos earlier, and the more patrons I can who are willing to support me, I can do a little bit more work on Patreon. I have to sort of balance my time because there's just so much to do, so much happening. If you'd like a reading with me, I do combination astrology, Kabbalah, and numerology readings. Most people find them very illuminating, very helpful on their path to understand themselves better, maybe, or to just validate what they already know about themselves. I have hour and a half readings. I prefer the hour and a half, at least if it's your first reading, but whatever you can afford, I do try to keep them relatively reasonable for people. And give me the thumbs up, because that's an easy way to support me. Patreon, readings, that's it. Have a wonderful month. Like and subscribe. I did say that already. Okay, sorry. I'm repeating myself. And I'll see you again next month for the Tarot Scopes for November. Take care, everyone. Namaste.